with Ms. Glosser.
That's Walsh Road.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Amendola.
Here.
Ms. Glosser. Ms. Damas. Mr. O'Brien.
Here.
Ms. Terry. Here. Mr. Lavasser.
Here.
Ms. Amendola.
Here.
Mayor Bloom. Solicitor Gladys.
Here.
Engineer Strunk.
Here.
Public Works Director Wazorowski.
Here.
I'll entertain a motion to approve the bill list dated July 24th, 2017.
So moved.
Second.
Moved in second, any discussion? Hearing no discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed. I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes dated July 10th, 2017.
So moved. Second.
Moved in second, any question or any discussion? Hearing no discussion, then all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed. So we have two people signed up for citizen comments regarding agenda items, or the comments we're gonna do right now. Are either of those about agenda items?
Jim Pasha Cloud.
Oh, he's gone, okay. Maybe he thought it was a sign-in fee? Okay. Kay Falbo, is it something that's on the agenda, or?
Well, the shopping center was what we just heard about, and that's what made me think of asking the question.
Okay,
It was on the
that's
agenda.
fine.
It doesn't, it's gonna sound like an odd question, but I was just curious as to what
Give
that
us your
is.
name and your address real quick.
Karen Gallo,
And your address?
257 Noble.
Thank you.
I was just curious as to what the value of that piece of land down there at the shopping center might have to perhaps a corporation that would want to put something on it.
We definitely won't be able to answer that for you at this particular moment,
Yeah.
but.
You know, the gentleman, and I've been doing some reading about shopping centers, and he's done his homework. They are hitting the ground. They're not going to be up. They're losing businesses. The covered malls seem to be a little bit more able to recover. They're actually taking all of the businesses out, and instead they're remodeling and repurposing the covered mall. Some of the out-of-state newspapers, Wall Street Journal and New York Times, are talking about this and doing articles of it. For instance, down at Century 3, they take maybe those 2 levels and put in condominiums on the 2nd level, and then take the bottom floor and put in doctor's offices, grocery stores, high-end dress shops. This is what they can do with a covered mall. We have a strip mall. I don't know what we're going to be able to do with a strip mall. But I was wondering if there would be a corporation somewhere that might want to bid on building on that land, and then you could incorporate both their corporation and perhaps some businesses underneath. Just a thought.
Thank you. Okay, then, moving on, I will acknowledge the receipt of the following written reports: the treasurer's report, the financial report, the Act 511 and trash collection report, the property tax collection report, the police report, the EMS report, the ordinance officer's report, the building inspection report, the public works report, the fire department report, and the library report. Since the mayor is not here, is there anything that he wanted you to say on his behalf?
There is not.
Okay, then we'll move on to the engineer's report.
Alright. Start with the road program. PA American Water did start on Ewing Road last week. We wanted them to get ahead of the contractor. They'll come and do the main line, and then their contractor will, then PA American will come in and tie in the service laterals. So as of right now, Grande gave us a schedule of, well, they originally said late July, early August. I think we're early August to mid-August at this point. And once we get the actual date, we'll let you guys know. I believe, Ann, did everyone get a copy of the Ewing Road
Yes,
letter?
it's on.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so we went out and did some test pits with Public Works helping us. We were able to reduce the scope of work on this, if you guys were okay with one-way traffic. So that's the idea with this cost estimate. Again, it's an estimate, there are some contingencies in there. There's also some things in there that you may not want. I think we put a guide rail in there. Our thought was, you know, when we initially put this together, is you got one-way traffic, you got a guide rail, and if you wanted to have like a walking path next to the guide rail, because a lot of people, we're hearing a lot of people, while we were out there, people were walking up and down it. So, so I know it's still a lot of money, but I don't know if that's something a little more reasonable in order to get that road open. That would include some drainage structures. And basically, we just collect the water and shoot it out, you know, toward the lower side of the hill. So, any questions on that?
You say guide rail, you mean guardrail? Or
Yeah,
is that the same thing?
Yeah, it's the same.
Okay.
It's the same thing, but they don't call it guardrail anymore because
Oh, legal
of
reasons.
litigation a
All
long
right,
time ago.
your haircut looks good.
All right, what's that? All right, demolition project. I believe last month, Ann let you know that we do need to get an asbestos study done on those two homes. That's being done this week. And then hopefully we won't find anything, but you just never know. Then we'll actually add that abatement into the proposal for the contract, and then we'd like to re-advertise that. We didn't get any interest the first time around. A couple of contractors mentioned that, hey, we probably should take care of that asbestos thing before we come in and bid on it. So that's kind of why we're doing it again.
Okay.
So the sewer repair contracts. So the point repair, which is the excavation, is 95% done. We do have some other, we got a couple repairs that have some utility conflicts and some issues that we're dealing with. Our hope is to come back out and do those. We also have a couple of manholes that are buried that we'd like to take care of as well. We're just waiting to see what the budget is after we do some of those utility conflict ones. So CCTV contract is complete. We have manhole lining company starting this week. Spot lining is complete, and preventive maintenance, which is cleaning sewers, cutting roots, that kind of thing. They should be starting in a couple weeks.
Not Jet Jack.
Jet Jack is doing the manhole lining.
I got a note.
Oh, okay. Okay, and then the cleaning is actually State Pipe Services. So, all right. The park project, the rain garden, we'd like to get this advertised soon. We are, I'd say, 95% complete. We're just doing our QA/QC process, updating, doing last minute updates to the plans and specs, but we should be ready to get those out to bid as soon as the end of the week. But we don't have to get it out at the end of the week, whenever you guys want to. So, and then,
Can we see it? Can we see it?
oh yeah.
You don't need to share with us.
I don't have it here, no. But we can, we can have it done. We can get you the plans. We don't have to get it out now. If you guys want to see what it looks like, we can do that, absolutely.
So you need to get that advertised.
Yeah. Yeah, so we've been working with Penn State. Are they aware of that? And we're working with Penn State. So we've been working with students. They've come up with some designs. We went back and forth. They each came up with a design. We actually decided to go with something that was kind of in between what they came up with. It's going to look pretty cool. We got some cool signage that we're going to be putting up. And then as far as the parking lot's just, we're going to be putting some inlets in there to get some of that into the rain gardens. We're trying to get it out of the combined system. So get into the rain garden, then we have an overflow that kicks the water back to the alley that ties into Duncan. So we will, and that's a separate storm. The same storm line that we pipe burst, that water is going to be heading to that storm line out to Chartiers Creek. So the paving is not going to change much. It's going to look nice because it's new pavement. but most of it's just that rain garden. It should look pretty good, but yeah, we can get that out for you guys to see. The splash pool maintenance, we're kind of in the same boat. We're just working to get some documents together that the bonding company for the contractor is asking for. So that's where we are right now on that. And then the floor isolation project is complete. I did send a summary letter out just explaining kind of what we, I guess kind of what the results are, but ultimately the results are gonna be tied into the year-end source reduction study that you guys are required to put, to send in, which Gateway's gonna put together. But essentially what we realize, there's not a whole lot of groundwater infiltration in that area of Crafton, which is Starkier's fountain, that area down there. Not as much as we actually thought there would be, which is good news, but we do have some projects, some ideas, and I've talked about a couple of areas where we could separate and get some storm water out of that. So we definitely did discover some projects we can do when it comes to whatever flow target. I know I'm kind of talking, maybe you may not quite understand, but there are some things coming down that we're gonna have to, more regulations we're gonna have to adhere to. Once we know all that, then we'll have a better idea of what we can do based on what we've done with the flow isolation. So, sorry, I tried to make that as short as possible and
That's
not too
fine.
complicated, but. Any questions?
Our next meeting will be our discussion meeting, and I know you normally don't come to those, but I wonder if we could ask him to consider coming and talking in depth about Ewing Road.
Yeah.
Do you think that'd be okay? Could we ask him to do that? If he could come to the next, our discussion?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've got a question for you. The Ewing at cost estimate only gave us one option. Is there other options that could be applied to remediate that area, or we only have the one option available?
The other option would be more expensive. So we kind of went with what would be the most affordable option.
So that will,
And that's based on Joe, the geotechnical engineer's, his study of what's going on out there with the soils. That's based on the test pits. So we did reduce the wall that's gonna need to go up there by quite a bit.
the initial test, they did the initial geological testing. Has that changed as far as the soils itself? Has it very much changed since the original test?
I don't know the answer to that, I'd ask Joe. I know Joe was involved with looking into this probably, when was the last time we looked, like 5 years ago maybe?
I think it was.
10 or 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Well, I know, but we looked at it, didn't we put some cost estimate together?
Never based on the old test.
It was probably based on the old, back 10, 15 years ago. So, I mean.
2001.
Oh, was it, didn't we do something, I thought we did something 5 years ago.
Right,
We
you
looked
come up
into
with-
trying
No,
to,
geotechnical
it was just cost
study was
estimates,
done
that's
in
what it was.
2001.
It was only cost estimates that we updated 5 years ago.
Right.
That's what it was.
Cost.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, Rob, as far as that, I would like to bring Joe in here and have him explain some of the things.
Well, maybe he could come to the
Yeah,
next
yeah,
discussion
he can
meeting.
come to the
Can you
next
come
one.
to, Rob?
I'll put you first on the agenda.
Okay,
Okay.
yeah, let's do that, let's bring
Do
Joe
we
in
want to
here.
meet earlier? Do we want to just meet at 7:15? You tell me.
Well, earlier's not a bad idea, why not?
I would agree that I think that the meeting today worked really well, since we had a lot of questions. And even at that, we ran 15 minutes over.
So 6:45?
Okay,
Everybody's good with that?
do we want to do a motion to authorize this, have a special meeting at 6:45?
So I will entertain a motion to authorize a special presentation / meeting at 6:45 at our next regular
August 14th.
discussion meeting, which is August 14th, 2017.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and second, any additional discussion? Hearing
Maybe some
none.
people from Ewing Road would like to, come in and hear what's going on.
Yeah,
That's all nobody's.
I have just a couple homework points for you guys, since you guys are gonna come in and talk about this formally. Could you evaluate over in Carnegie, if that was the county or if that was the Borough of Carnegie when they did that shoring up of the road there, and also along Campbell's Run, and see what type of engineering technologies they deployed there as well. And then I noticed that there wasn't a lot of description in the stabilization fabric. I think there may be some opportunity to take some of the advances in some of these technologies to help us with this, because I see 150K is dedicated to that retaining wall. And maybe if there's some proposed weight limits and restrictions, we're not landing a 747 on this thing, so just maybe there's something that could be looked at there to give us some alternates, just for consideration, maybe some of the things that are happening in the oil field on like our lease roads. Maybe look into some of those tech things that we've seen at our trade shows. I'm just curious.
Okay.
Any additional discussion? I'm hearing no additional discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
And all opposed? Thank you. So you're good to go then on the 14th?
6:45, right?
Yep.
Thank you.
Do you have anything additional?
Oh, that's it.
Okay, I'm gonna just jump ahead then, since the three motions are pertaining to what you just spoke of. I will entertain a motion to authorize to advertise the plans and specifications for the demolition of the properties located at 25 Sycamore and 78 Fountain in Crafton Borough as recommended by the engineer.
So moved.
Second.
Moved in second. Any additional discussion? Hearing no discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? I'll entertain a motion to approve payment request number 1 for $98,228.47 for the joint O&M point repair project payable to Shaycog, included in our 2017 sewer budget and recommended by the engineer.
So moved.
Second.
Moved in second. Any additional discussion on that? Hearing no discussion, then all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? And I will entertain a motion to advertise the plans and specifications for the rain garden project in Crafton Park along Student Street, funded partly by the GROW grant from Alcosan.
So moved.
My second.
Second.
Moved in second. Will you be able to bring us a mock-up on the 14th?
Yes.
Anything additional?
Thank you, Alcosan.
Anything additional? Okay, all in favor then?
Aye.
All opposed, thank you. Okay, then we can move on to the solicitor's report.
Just a couple of quick matters. We're still waiting for documents for the splash pad bond issued from, basically from Gateway. Secondly, I've taken a look at the item that's listed under finance, the tax credit for volunteer firefighters, and worked with the manager on draft ordinance, and looked at the numbers, and it looks to me like both a win for the borough, and I would recommend passage of that when we get to it. And finally, one recurring item that comes up from time to time is Act 90, and I took another look at Act 90 since the last meeting. And Act 90 doesn't really kick into anything until we have a violation and a corrective order issued. And then the homeowner gets 6 months to, or the property owner gets 6 months to try to correct the violation before any of the new and improved items under Act 90 come into play. So it still comes down to enforcement in the first instance. So, does anyone have any questions about any of those matters or anything else on the legal?
I'm concerned about the splash pad. It
Yes.
just seems like it's getting to be more broken down there. That or it's, no, I'm just looking at it. It's, are you seeing anything wrong?
Well, the big issue right now, I guess, is that bench wall with the
Right, that's the
deterioration.
bench wall.
That's the biggest issue
Right.
that's in question. The other ones are more minor, but
Is someone gonna fix it before we get into the end of the season?
That's a good question.
I mean,
That's what we're,
Well,
That's what they're
our
gonna
hands are
do.
tied because it's actually, it's part of the bond, part of the.
that's what we're going after the
responsi-
contractor under their bond.
Right.
And we can't agree to the fix. He just wants to kind of sand it down and blast a little bit and paint it again and,
And then we'll have the same issue next year.
yeah, so.
It needs to be done right.
Right, it has to.
Yeah, there's some
So
structural issues.
that's why we're gathering documents and it's not gonna be done this year, I can tell you that much.
So we can't even paint it, we can't even paint it blue to make it match, we can't make it match.
I mean, it's more, you probably need to chip all the parging off it and.
Yeah.
stuff.
No,
They don't
we
wanna do
can't
that.
Not
commit
even-
to doing
not-
anything to it and then.
Not even temporary.
Oh,
to clean
no,
it up.
no. Mm-mm.
Cause I have access to plenty of blue paint, so. I just come after and do it.
Once you do that, though, you probably lose the bond. I don't know what this, when the contract will come back, so you bond it.
Yeah.
Thank
Right.
you.
The bonding agency hasn't been unreasonable to this point, but we're still waiting on documents.
They haven't been on.
They have not been. And they're looking at it from a cost-benefit standpoint, you know, how much is it gonna cost to fix it? The way that Gateway is recommending it be fixed versus what it's gonna cost to litigate it. And, at least from my, discussions with Mr. Flynn, it seems like it will cost them much less to fix it than to litigate it, but until we get the documents to them and they have a chance to look at it, we can't really go any further.
I mean.
They ask for a lot of
Are they
documents.
dragging their
They
feet,
did
they
it
think like,
for a
well,
long
it seems
time.
that we're not gonna continue to pursue it, or?
Oh, no.
That's what I'm saying,
No.
you've dealt with these people,
Yeah.
and you can't even understand what they're thinking, so.
Yeah, they are.
He's right though, the repair is not that,
That's
it's
not
really not that
local though either.
expensive.
They gotta come from the other side of the state to come in with the
Right.
people that do it once they set it out.
Well, the bonding company is gonna look for the most economical fix for them. And which might be, rather than bring those guys from across the state to do it locally, we don't know yet.
Okay.
Thank you again.
Any other questions?
That's all we
Thank
have.
you. Yep.
Okay, then based on your recommendation for the tax credit for the volunteer firefighters, I would like to entertain a motion to authorize the HB 172 tax credit for volunteer firefighters, real estate tax and earned income taxes.
We're gonna advertise it.
Authorized advertising ordinance.
The ordinance. Sorry.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and second, any additional discussion? Hearing no discussion, then all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you. Okay. Under comprehensive plan though, then, did you want to speak to this or someone from the comprehensive plan team?
I did find another vendor for the emergency notification,
Emergency resident notification system.
yes.
Okay.
And I'm gonna, the chief and I are gonna sit through a little presentation. Their bid is $100 a part,
Say that again?
$100 a part. So it's like the one that we received,
bids, okay.
right, and then the other one is, it's $100 less. So I wanna see what they can offer that, you know, then I can come and say, yeah, these ones seem a little better. They're both, the ones, he's in their main office is in San Francisco, the one that's called Nixle or Nixie or
So
something
what are the
like
two
that.
names then? Oh, you don't have it right at your fingers, that's okay.
I don't. And-
Okay, so there are two that we are deciding to go with for our emergency resident.
Yeah, I'll make a little presentation of
Okay.
comparison whenever, so I just wanted to let you know, because I know Ingram said that they were really interested in getting that started. It is roughly about $4,200 a year for 3 years, and we would split that 50-50, so we're talking about.
So it's a
21
3-year contract, but it's $4,200 each year.
Roughly, yeah.
Okay. Dave, you look like you were gonna say something. Did you?
No, I was just, I didn't know if she was gonna speak about it.
Okay.
And then, I'm just saying that Ingram and Crafton council members, I believe, they're, were in agreement that this is something we want to move forward with.
Right.
Right. They weren't getting additional bids, right?
No, I don't believe
Okay.
that they, you know.
So
they
we're gonna
want-
share our information.
Right, so I'll do like a little comparison as, once I get, you know, this bid and, you know, we'll see, like I said, the difference in the price is $100. So it's not a big difference in,
No. but
like the price isn't
service.
glaring, you know, like, oh, that's gonna be a, you know, cost consideration, it's $100. So, you know, we'll see what they have to offer, but again, you know, the company that I had, Hyperreach is what I had. And it's, they're out of New York, and this Nixle system, Nixie or something like that, it's out of San Francisco, that's where their main office is. But they do, there are a couple of small communities that they do around here, where the Hyperreach doesn't do anybody around here, but they're trying to get in the market,
Okay.
so.
I mean, I would definitely like to have like feedback from people that are.
Right, that's what I just got it today, so like I said, we're gonna go on Wednesday, have a little it's just on the computer.
Right, right.
And, you know, so we'll get a little presentation, and then I can do like a comparison, and I will call the local communities that they have.
Any additional discussions on the emergency?
No.
Did you want to talk about the spell newsletter, or was it something?
Well, that was something that we were talking about, that both of them, Allegheny County 911 system, when I spoke to the coordinator, he said that you're better off he's also a council person and a local community, it's Kennedy Township, and he said that when they went and got information, it's better to go to the residents. So it may be easier to have like a fall newsletter, and there's gonna be numerous
To gather the
ways
data.
to gather the data.
Okay.
There's gonna be numerous ways to sign up, whether it's email, whether you make a phone call, whether it's a text message, and you can receive information. You can limit it to emergency notifications, weather notifications, you know, a lost child notification. You can limit the type of information, how you receive it, you know, so there's a lot to consider. So the person would have to register.
So
And-
I currently get an email. We can use what
We
we're
can-
currently using, right, to.
Right,
reach
but
out?
I would have your contact information, they would build the database.
So even what you already have in the program that we're using now, you can't just give them that info. Everyone would still have to re-sign up.
Yeah, you would have to re-sign up.
Okay, so we could do a.
I mean, I
push.
could give them because I only have email addresses, and that's just through us, we do that through, you know, survey, that chip monkey. That's how we send out like the survey.
Crime Watch and then.
Isn't that what it's called?
You don't like,
No,
you don't like that?
No.
MailChimp?
It's just, yeah, there you go.
MailChimp. I knew it was something like
It's
MailChimp, Chip Monkey, I knew it was
But I'm
something.
saying, like, we do have a lot of email addresses already.
Oh, yeah.
built in
Wait,
there,
no, we
so
would be
can
able
use
to-
that, push it out.
But
and
that would be
say
the way
sign
that
up.
we would send something out to them, so people could, they can sign up through their text message.
No, I know, but I'm saying we can at least
I'll
use
provide
that
that.
as
Sure.
one avenue in addition to potentially a newsletter as well, or whatever other avenue we decide. Okay,
Absolutely.
okay, yes. Did you have something that you wanted to add, or something new?
There's one, you guys already talked about what I want to talk about. It was, I was wanting to bring up the newsletter.
Okay.
Two, it was really, I meant to mention this during the engineering talk. Can I go back to that?
Yeah.
And I've mentioned this before, but is there anything that we can do about the fact that Willard's crown at the bottom of it is not adequate, and vehicles are getting stuck on it? My heart stopped when I saw an ambulance get stuck at the bottom of Willard, and I know it was a problem with the paving contractor, and we sort of let it go too long because we had other things going on. Is there anything that we could do to grade that bring it to a better grade. I mean, I think the evidence is there. I mean, there's plenty of gouges and scrapes and stories of buses, and now I saw the ambulance get stuck, and it's like, that's sort of like my Alamo. If a safety vehicle can't get to where it needs to go, especially with that corner building being there that has so many issues all the time, you know, I just would really like to see a solution for the Crown and Willard, because it's a bad situation. You can see the gouges, and we can't have ambulances getting stuck on the hill.
The only thing that we actually really came up with as a thought is, and I'm not even positive if it's gonna work, is you could mill off that intersection and try to repave it with the lesser crown. We're just concerned about creating a drainage issue, not getting the water where it needs to go. That Willard's so steep coming down there, and that's part of our issue, is it's going up
Well,
hillside.
part of the issue, and you know, we saw up the hill, it's pulling, it's the asphalt's,
Right, and when it gets hot, it's worse too.
yeah, it's just the fact, I mean, we've had the school bus get stuck, you have other vehicles get stuck, and then I saw an ambulance get stuck, and I was like, man, and that's like a thoroughfare into the city there, and it wasn't always like that. It was when we went through and did it, and if there's any, you know, if it's an economical fix to mill and try to bring it, I don't know what we can do, you know, if there's anything that's reasonable, economical, to try to fix it, because, I mean, you can go look at the gouges, I mean,
I've seen them.
it's.
I've seen them. I mean, we have the paving contractor come in. I mean, if that's something you guys wanna look into, we can look at it a little more.
Yeah, maybe you and Rob can just take a look at it, because, I mean, the ambulance got stuck, and, you know, I had to go out and be like, back it up, try going up, helping him get up.
Who's going out?
Yeah,
Going up
you
or
firstly,
down?
yeah, and I was like, you gotta sort of like ride it, get on the other side, and take a wide swing to get up, to, you know, not get stuck, because the frames are getting stuck.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, like I said, we got a paving contractor come in, so if there's something we can do, you know, without messing, I don't want any puddles, you know, I want puddles everywhere, so we'll
Yeah,
do our
I
best
mean,
to
you don't want
come up with
to
something.
impact the integrity of the roadway, but I mean, people are getting stuck on a hill, I mean, it's.
Right. I'm concerned of going, and we may be able to get that crown down some, we might be able to make it work, but you may still have bigger trucks like UPS, when that bumper comes down, they may still scrape the pavement. Hopefully it doesn't happen as
Yeah, well,
often.
this one's going up, and
Yeah,
that's
or
what
either way,
really
yeah.
concerned me, was the
So-
vehicle going up. Usually, it's given that forward momentum, you got the, you know,
Right.
physics is working against you on a downhill, and so you're gonna grind it, but it's when the ambulance was trying to go up, and I was like, that sucks.
We'll definitely look at it. Yeah. And we're not trying to avoid it, we just know that.
Yeah, it's a
the
complex
solution's gonna-
problem.
The solution is going to be milling up the pavement and trying to make the grades work, trying to feather that in.
Yeah, and I was
So it's
curious,
not-
is the gas company, I saw there had been some marking by the gas company, is there a way that maybe, are they gonna be doing some kind of utility work where it's gonna get brought up again, or is there anything like opportunity in the next couple of years?
Oh, you mean if they're replacing?
Yeah, because they had
gas
made some marks, you know, it looked like Peoples was out there doing something a few months ago.
That
What was
was the
that?
one call I did a one call out there for stop sign installation, it was about 6 months ago. And when I marked it, that's why I didn't put it in that location, because of the gas lines.
Oh, okay.
That
So they're not gonna
corner
do
road,
any-
No, I believe that was for a one call.
Oh, okay,
As far
sorry.
as we know, we don't know yet.
I don't have any updated one calls.
Well, I just wanted to bring it up because I saw the ambulance get stuck, and that's sort of bothering me.
All right, we'll go out there.
Would
Set this as-
one way coming down help our problem?
I don't think so. You think, I mean, one way's not gonna.
I don't know, they bought them out both ways going up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's probably not gonna make a difference.
Not gonna make a difference.
Yeah, it's just when we put the crown in, it's got a big crown, because they were trying to get the water to shed off and go to the inlets and try to direct the water, and it's doing a really good job of that, but it sort of has a negative effect on the traffic.
I think you can put an inverted, I mean, the catch basin is across the street from Clearview, down in Clearview on both sides, so if you're doing an inverted crown, it might
Yeah. Yeah, we might do it. I mean, as long as we have the contract out there, that's the time to do it.
Yeah, because I'm just worried about like fire trucks and all those, you know, the big vehicles that need to get up and down.
Send them on Harris, just read that Harris, it's good.
I know. The good thing is there, you got the navigation around the turn. It's just a complex part. All right, thanks for letting me bring that up, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Under discussion items then, the Crafton Library is having their Oktoberfest on Saturday, September 30th, 2017, in the park. Does anyone have anything extra to add?
Yeah, actually, there's a discussion. We have been talking with Anne for a while now, and there has been, for a number of years, we've been looking to find a community event fundraiser that could become an annual event that, you know, could give us the potential to raise significant funds. And
For the library.
For the libraries, for the library. Although I will add that we actually have had a discussion with Crafton Celebrates to see if there's interest to kind of to participate in some way to help them in the off-season to get some funds to make Crafton Celebrates run a little more smoothly, so that they've got a little more seed money when it comes time to get that going. So obviously with Oktoberfest, there is the issue of alcohol. And so what we've been looking into with Dan's help, and Susan is here as well, trying to look at the insurance issues, and then to come to council and ask whether whether they would consider an exception or to allow for this event to have alcohol. I think that there was some precedence with the previous gala a number of years ago for the pool. So,
And we've also had like a pep rally, like a tailgate party in the park as well, and there was alcohol there as well.
right, so we're trying to make sure that we cover all the bases. I mean, we've talked to Ann about, the extra police coverage for security and what that would cost, and, those are all going into our budget and that sort of thing. So we're just basically here at council to ask them to consider letting us do this at the park at the end of September, and with the hope that it will become an annual event.
Okay, so my apologies that it's not actually scheduled yet, but I think it's a fantastic idea.
Thank you. Does anybody have any questions or comments?
Have you thought about well, and we can talk about this offline if you want, but have you thought about you could invite people to bring IPA beers, and it could be crazy good.
Well, we're working on all of that.
That would be fun.
Yeah. So we're talking to a number of breweries, a number of wineries. Sharp Edge has
I'm just
interest.
gonna say Sharp Edge.
Yeah,
probably
so,
would be
but
fun.
there's some issues between the insurance coverages that they carry and the permitting, depending on what kind of organization it is. But, between Ian and certainly Susan, they're really covering all those bases. And so we're trying to sort that out in the next week or two to, see who we can get and to make sure that the insurances are covered.
If there's anything I can do to
Oh,
help.
super, thanks. So do we need a motion or?
I mean, I've issued the permit, so I don't know, do you want to do a motion?
Okay, what are we motioning?
Looking for the allow alcohol.
To allow alcohol in the park. Just for the day.
Yep. Do we have a time?
We're looking at 2 to 7, the permit's for noon to 9, but we're looking for 2 to 7. Sundown is at 6:58 on that day.
Okay, then I will entertain a motion to allow the permit for Crafton Park to include alcohol on Saturday, September 30th, from noon to 9, with your event being from 2 to 7, to benefit the Crafton Library. Good.
So,
Any additional discussion?
Mr. Jim would look into perhaps, sometimes when they issue those permits, they have restrictions on people sort of gathering in one area, one fenced-in area. You know what I'm talking about? Like sometimes you go to a...
We're actually planning that, because we've looked at all of that sort of thing and what's been done in the past. So there's Crafton Celebrates has a big tent, and so we're talking about using the tent and enclosing that.
Portion of it?
Right.
For
So-
drinking and non-drinking?
Yeah. Have I missed anything, Susan? Okay.
Any additional?
So you keep an eye on things, Jim?
Okay, then,
Cool.
all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Thank
Be
you.
great. Get some llamas in there for that.
Yeah, some llamas in there, all right.
Fundraiser.
What-
Yeah. Race, yeah.
I mean, you could have dance.
Would you have an interest,
right.
you have an interest in the llamas there?
No.
Yeah, no, we're looking at all of those
Dance
sorts of
and
things.
music.
Yeah, we
That's gonna be
do.
fantastic.
We have, we have to look at all the budget and that sort of thing, but we have Corey Concurry as the headliner. And so, some really good stuff. And then
That's fantastic.
we're contacted, some, under the dance companies, and there's some, like specific German, and we have, the German band thing. Yeah, the what?
Button box.
Button box band, that we're contacting. So, I mean, we're trying to make sure that we don't do more than we can do the first year, but we're looking to build it out as an annual event. And we've worked really hard to kind of position it between other organizations and their annual events.
Okay.
Bravo.
Thank you, Fred.
Okay, then, any additional discussion items? Anyone? No? Okay, then moving on to our community announcements. Concerts in the park, they've started, correct?
That's correct.
So they are on Thursdays at 7:30 PM every Thursday. Is the schedule up on our website?
It is.
Do you want to talk about the side yard and blighted?
Applications are accepted, that's just for your side yard, if you're interested in purchasing the vacant or blighted structure that's next door to you, the county is offering, it reduces the amount of taxes that would be due, if there's delinquent taxes. So applications are on the back of the bill, on the table, and it's also on the website.
Okay. Would you like to touch on the Rotary?
Tickets are still available. There aren't many tickets left, but Rib and Chicken Fest, August 3rd at the Crafton Park Shelter and the Llama Plot. There are still some tickets left, but not many tickets, so get your tickets if you want to go.
Thank you. Just to remind everyone that on Monday, August 21st at 6:30, we have our special meeting with the DCED regarding the early intervention program. And you want to speak on Jordan Tax?
Yeah, Jordan Tax Service will be here for the convenience of the residents for school tax collection August 29th from 1 to 4, and then August 31st, again from 9 AM here in the municipal building, and we usually put them in the little council room over there.
Okay. So you can come and pay your taxes,
Come by your school
questions.
tax.
Okay. Do we have additional, I'm sorry Kathy,
That's
I
okay.
can't see that far, so I
That's
know
okay.
you were saying something, but I couldn't
Yeah,
read your lips.
that's okay. Can I sit here? I'm having a little problem with my legs tonight.
No, you have to get up and get out, of course you can sit here.
Okay, Kathy Watson, 74 Fountain Street. Last meeting I had mentioned about either a stop sign. Well, first of all, everybody on Fountain and Chartiers that I saw since you put the stop sign up are thrilled with the stop sign
Okay,
at Fountain. But they're asking me about that question that I mentioned, having either a stop sign or some line from when you come under from the underpass. Did anybody?
oh, in the middle of this road, right, to
Yeah.
separate the two lanes.
I would,
The line's gonna be a little difficult because really when you have the T intersection making a right and a left, if you put it,
No, there's no right and left. I'm talking,
No, no.
coming- you come down Woodlawn,
yes,
make a right on the Chartiers.
yes,
If you are coming down from Canada,
yes,
first of all, that stop sign is just about under the underpass.
City of Pittsburgh.
Yeah, that's okay, but you have to literally ease up to see those cars coming on Woodlawn, on Chartiers. By the time you're getting up there, those people are flying around and they're cutting you off. And they're looking at you like you're crazy because why are you right in the middle of the road?
So they're crossing over where there potentially would be a line.
Right, well, yeah, either a line on Chartiers and then a curve. Now, I know you can't go into the underpass because of it's city, but at least a curve to keep them in their own lane. Or a stop sign right where it looks like a yield sign up, not a yield sign, a children's crossing. And you said there
You know
used to
what,
be.
I looked at that, and I think there was a stop, remember I said,
Yeah, you
I
did.
think
Because
there
I
was a
agreed
stop
with you
sign.
that there was.
But you know what has come in there now, is the crossing to go over to the busway. So that is, what do they call it, a breakaway sign?
Yeah.
Is standing right there, and
For
it would have
pedestrian
been
crossing.
right in front of where our stop sign had
I'll
been.
I'll double check, I mean, we have the ordinances where stop signs are placed, but if there was a stop sign on Chartiers facing Fountain,
No,
before you
no.
get,
Oh, yeah.
before you get to, well, right at the intersection of Orange and
Right.
Chartiers, we can
Right.
just put it back up. But I have to check and see if there was an ordinance on it. There was initially one that was there, and was
I
passed by
agree with
council.
you.
Yeah, years ago.
There was.
Might have
Well, it
been-
wasn't even years, but
Yeah,
I
might
know,
be.
like the last 2 years.
Might have been whenever I was in high school,
Oh, please.
if I remember correctly.
I wasn't.
So you couldn't put some kind of line that would curve? You couldn't put some
I
kind of
can't,
line?
because really, you put a line of curve and you're telling the people coming out from Orange Road that that line, you know, I cross it.
You couldn't
You know what I
be
mean?
a,
Even if it's dashes,
can it be a, could you do line?
I mean,
Just
you're
to
still,
keep them
I mean,
in
the
their
main problem,
lane.
the main problem is the cars, it's not the line, the line's not gonna help. It's just the people driving, it doesn't stop or yield to come, I know exactly what you're talking
Oh,
about.
yeah.
I always come up from Chartiers or Fountain when I'm leaving the public works facility, and that stop sign, there's, those people, they
Well,
don't,
coming down the hill from Canada is worse, because you're coming out to see if there's any cars, but they're already making the turn.
I think the issue and the problem is the people coming off of, Woodlawn on Chartiers going to Ranch. Because you get it both from
Yeah, that's
coming
what I'm
off the
saying.
five and when you're coming off the ranches. So I think, there's a stop sign there, I think that would solve the problem, because it becomes a three-way stop.
Right.
Instead of
Okay,
a
so
I mean,
two-way
you put a
stop,
stop- you put a stop sign in Fountain.
so you can check and see if there.
Not too many stops, you
Pretty
can never
sure.
have too many, he
I
said.
can't, I mean,
You never have too
That's
many.
what you said.
You can never have too
well, there
many.
was a
stops.
site, there was a definite site issue finding in Chartiers. I mean, coming out there in the wintertime, when you're plowing or
Oh,
salting,
yeah.
you're holding your breath when you're, used to come out of the Chartiers before it was
Absolutely.
paved.
Yeah,
So,
Everybody's.
I mean, there was a
glad.
definite site issue there. So,
Okay.
But I'll check if there's an ordinance, I'm gonna sign it up there this week.
Oh,
Just
well,
with the stop bar.
we'll have to verify it before we,
Right.
Okay,
Okay, thank you.
thank you. Any additional citizens' comments? Anything additional from the council? No, then I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
I remember a feeling.
All in
Of course,
favor?
when I trusted my Bible, why did they say,
Thank you.
there's no but when